Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion with Councilwoman Michelle Berger, and joining our conversation here on PSL Living is Patricia Roebling. You are the Interim Assistant City Manager. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Having me. So the exciting thing is, before we get started, is that this may be the first time that Patricia and I are sitting next to each other.
Okay.
In the same room. So we are two different people.
Okay, people are aware of that. Okay. You've been confused before.
Exactly. We started talking before we started the interview, and so often Patricia will be on a show or with another councilman doing an update, and I'll get emails or calls that have follow-up questions on the show or the information that she gave, or one time I got a question of, why were you and Councilwoman Bowen both at the same time at some place doing a presentation? And I said, that's Patricia Roebling, and so we get
so you
confused.
are two different people.
Yeah.
You're two different people, but I'm honored.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. We appreciate that.
It makes me look good though, because she's so good, and smart, and makes me look good.
Myself as well.
That's a compliment. All right, well, we're talking about St. Lucie West and some of the exciting things going on there. We'll start with you, Patricia. If you would just talk about, I know that there's something that we're looking forward to, hopefully maybe this holiday season happening out there.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Councilwoman Berger had brought up the conversation at our most recent retreat, and the council approved to create a task force to go forward with trying to create a holiday decoration destination in St. Lucie West and possibly other commercial business districts. We're all well aware that St. Lucie West is where we go to shop in the city.
Absolutely.
And our roads are telling us that as well, because they're very crowded, and we discussed that in the last discussion. But we have put together a team. We have worked with many departments, city departments. We have a team together. We're also going to reach out to the business owners associations and the homeowners associations, and we're going to try to partner with them to create a holiday destination. And what does that mean to someone? Well, the holiday destination would be, I think about it, and I know Michelle and I have talked about this when we were younger as little kids, driving through areas that were all decorated with the lights and the trees and so forth. So what it would be, and we have to look obviously for the council at the cost and the budget for this, but to do ground-mounted decorations, we looked at the mast arms to see if they'll support the lighted holiday decorations that we have throughout the city that we put up every year. And we've worked with an engineering company called Pepper & Turpinning. They actually went out and did that analysis for us at no charge to the city, and they're currently working as part of our team. And they have determined that most of the mast arms out there will support the holiday decorations, so we can go forward with some cost estimates for that. So then we have the mounted decorations at the mast arms, ground mounted, the more the better. We looked at the FP&L poles out there, and they do not currently have wired for receptacles to plug in the any holiday lighted decorations. So we came up with some ideas. There's banner arms on some of those poles. We can add more banner arms. We can hang up holiday banners, and also maybe even wrap them with garland. So we have a whole bunch of different ideas that we want to definitely create a beautiful holiday destination area out there, pursuant to y'all's direction. And that's what we're going to do, and it will happen. Part of that will happen this year if the budget is approved. We're going to put together a budget, and we're going to bring it back to council so that for the next fiscal year, which starts on October 1st, we can have those monies available to work with our consultants and contractors that put up holiday decorations throughout the city, and have part of that magic, so to speak, happen for this fiscal year as well.
We've had a lot of people say, what's going on? How come St. Lucie West doesn't have the same decorations? Well, one of the things that St. Lucie West has that the rest of the city doesn't have, and it's an amazing thing to have, is their utilities are underground. So, we've seen after hurricanes them come up pretty quickly, and, they have a lot less issues, and it's an advantage to have your utilities underground, and they do. And that's why those FP&L poles out there aren't wired for power, right? Sounds weird, but they're not wired for power. And so those are obstacles that have to be overcome, and all it takes is money, right? But when you come back and you're finding out that it's quite a bit of money to get the mast arms adjusted so that they can hold everything. We're, what we'll finding out is that it's $75,000 to $100,000 is what we're looking at in order to make a retrofit happen. So, then why is it worth it is the next question that I get from others. It's worth it because when you're creating a destination point that is specifically for shopping, then what you're talking about is incentivizing people to shop in our city. And that means additional sales tax dollars for us. And so when we look at what we call a budget, it's actually a profit and loss statement like any business would look at, that's considered revenue for us. And rather than looking at ways to, ask the citizens in general to offer more revenue via, taxes that are ad valorem taxes, we should be taking a look at how we can add to the sales tax opportunities. And from my point of view, what we talked about at the retreat was we are a city, let's face it, that is heavily retail. There was a time where we didn't have a lot of commercial, and then by design we've kind of flexed that and offered some more opportunities for retail. So now, really we should take a look at how do we support that and how do we, utilize that in a way that leverages it as a strength. And this is really going to do that. So creating a destination point, allowing people to come here from outside the area, shop and leave their money behind, get their gas, and maybe even eat something while they're here. There's plenty of options. Why not try and make that happen? So that is the return of investment for us.
Absolutely, and I think building those partnerships also with the businesses and hopefully the HOAs, hopefully they'll participate and see this as a really good positive thing. You have to put some in, to get some back.
Yeah, so we're not going to go to the HOAs for the money though, just to make sure so you don't get a lot of costs.
Right.
But what's out there are POAs, so property, organizations that are mostly the commercial district, and there's a bunch of them out there. So as Patricia was saying, part of the role of the committee that's been put together is to make those connections. Sometimes walking out and actually, knocking on the door and asking to speak to who's there that day. But we're going to create those partnerships because that's the right thing to do, and there's a return of investment for them as well. Some of the larger organizations out there, and they have marketing dollars available that can be utilized in ways that promote holiday shopping, and so we're going to let them know about those opportunities that they can use, and if we give them enough time and they're a large enough corporation, then they usually can get that kind of stuff done. So we're going for everything.
That's great.
Yeah, and we're excited about where it's going to land.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I understand there's also, Jim mentioned a host of different things going on in St. Lucie West, but there are some additional things that were taking place out there, projects and things?
Yeah, I think Jim did a really good job in describing most, but I do want to mention one thing that was very important that I'm much involved in and have been, is the state of Florida's Department of Transportation has ownership of that interchange at St. Lucie West in Interstate 95. We take over ownership at a certain portion when you come down the off-ramps and you're at Peacock Boulevard, basically nearing that intersection. That's where we take over ownership. But the state actually takes over ownership and maintenance of that interchange. And they are currently undergoing a project development and environmental study to widen and improve that interchange. Now, I don't have the exact dates when that would happen, but they are currently under the study process right now. So I want to mention that because that's something that maybe the city is not conducting, the state is, but it's very important to the community and our residents.
It's a confusing corner. Right. We know Stewart has a confusion corner, but for us, that intersection is one that has a bunch of shared responsibilities, is the way I would kind of categorize that. And it's a lot of relationship building and influencing there that Patricia does and that staff does to make sure that the state stays on time and really just understands what the impacts are on our side. So we try to be good neighbors because it's abutting each other. But at the same time, there's things that need to get done, and sometimes Patricia has to go in there and strong arm a little bit. But they do a good job, and again, that's an intersection that's had a lot of improvements over the course of the last couple of years, but we can see that the state recognizes that we need more help from them on making that area a little bit wider because of the amount of traffic that's coming through it. Yeah, so we do recognize that.
Right, so I wanted to mention that because I know that is one of the key elements of the St. Lucie West area, that everyone hops on and off that interchange, and it is rather busy. So, and the developers just put in left turn lane improvements there at Peacock, so that helps the area a little bit too when you're exiting off of 95.
Yeah. You know, we talk all the time about St. Lucie West Boulevard has a lot of time for us of our time when we discuss like what's going on in the city, because there's so much traffic on it. And so, you know, we went out there the other day, didn't we, to do a short segment. And when I walked into Starbucks, for instance, I know Glenn there, and he was like, "Did you see the traffic out here today? There's not even a game today." And we recognize it. It's season and it's busy, and you know, people want to be on St. Lucie West Boulevard because it's a destination point for many people.
Absolutely.
But there are also people that are, you know, making that connectivity to I-95, and I gotta tell you, I can't even imagine what it would be like if we didn't have that, well, I would call a $46 million diverter of Crosstown Parkway, because certainly that has helped to alleviate a lot of traffic off of St. Lucie West Boulevard. But we recognize that it is a busy intersection. It's a busy road. When I was talking with Jim yesterday, his face is priceless when I said, "So when are we talking about widening St. Lucie West Boulevard?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's not what we're talking about right now." And I said, "I get that, but we do need to talk about what the pace looks like and what works and what doesn't work." And so a lot of the conversations are, you know, the left-hand turn lanes that have been put in, the extended turn lanes that have been put in, how are they working? You know, when was the last time we did a traffic study? When was the last time we did a traffic study during season? You know, these are the things that the professionals, you know, consider, put together, and that we all talk about constantly.
Absolutely.
So I just don't want anybody to think that we're ignorant to it or that we are not paying attention. We recognize it. We also recognize there's a value to having a roadway in St. Lucie West that has appeal and has a, you know, a fantastic feel. I'm sorry, just the way to say it when you drive through. And I think driving on St. Lucie West Boulevard and the way, you know, it has that great mix of mature plantings and commercial, you know, availability. I think that feels better than some of the 6-lane roads that don't have a lot.
No personality.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and so it's sweet. It's nice. It's St. Lucie West, and it's something. It's a road I'm proud to drive people down, and I hope everybody else is as proud of it as possible.
Absolutely.
I've had people say, and I will. You know, we're going to be authentic, you know, today and ongoing with our communications. But I have had people say, St. Lucie West looks like a third world country. Well, look, I know this is I'm going to put myself out there, but I'm going to tell you, these people have not actually traveled to a third world country then if they think that St. Lucie West Boulevard looks like that. So we recognize that there are improvements that have to be made. We're actually working with Men in Development, who's helping us with some of the flowering aspects that they want to add to St. Lucie West Boulevard. And we're working with the other developers to create the expanded lanes. So work is always there. There's always something that can be done. But certainly it still is something that I can say I'm proud of, as the City of Port St. Lucie has, you know, taken it over in 2006. And there was a time when, you know, maintenance was not being performed on that road, and there was a time that lights were being shut off on that road, and there was a time that many of the residents were saying, "Please, City, take over these roads out here so that we know that they will be taken care of." And so the City of Port St. Lucie did that. We did that. And we did that with a lot of cost involved. And bringing a road from being a developer-funded road and built road to Florida Department of Transportation standards is not an easy task, and it's not an inexpensive task. So congratulations to us for doing it. You guys did a fantastic job of making it happen in a very short period of time and accelerated pace to get it to where it needs to be. And so I remain, you know, again, very proud of the work that we do in Port St. Lucie.
Absolutely. There's so much action behind the scenes that residents, you know, may not be aware of that's going on, but, you know, you guys obviously are aware of the issues of, you know, problem intersections or problem lanes, or, you know, this road or that road needs to be repaved. So you guys are on it. That's wonderful. We look forward definitely to this holiday season, hopefully with the added holiday decorations and things out there. I think that's wonderful to make it a destination place.
And then from a communication point of view, we're going to do this more often. And Jim really loves coming and doing the show with you, so we're going to have Jim come back and do it again, because he's so good at it. And I know he enjoys making sure he's in the front of the public and getting that information out.
That's wonderful.
Also, he helped me. One of the things I want to, you know, thank him for publicly, and you know this, but he helped me so much personally, but the city as well, when we were doing a presentation in front of Representative Lee for the advisory committee that he had put together for environmental issues. And so, you know, it is time for our people to get out and do as many of these kind of presentations, share the information as often as possible about the positive environmental impacts that the city of Port St. Lucie has made over the years, and really be proud of the steps and the money that has been put into it, and really just being a vanguard on the Treasure Coast on environmental issues.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking time. I know that you are both so busy. We really appreciate you stopping by and really communicating, like you said, with the residents out there in St. Lucie West and all residents of Port St. Lucie. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, you know, make their way out there to go, you know, shopping and go to the games and things. So we really appreciate you both being here, and thank you so much for the updates.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And we'll be right back after this message.